Yes, guys, this is Pete, and this is my United point of view. Today, we're going to do a match reaction to Man United 3, Bournemouth 0. Before we get into the video, today's video is sponsored by Ball Tactics. Check out their website for match previews and reviews with some tongue-in-cheek humour and a great insight into the game. The link's in the description below, guys. Make sure you click that, check them out. Putting out some really good stuff. So today we're just going to go into my thoughts on the match, do a quick man of the match poll, and also we're going to do player ratings. So we'll get straight into it. So obviously, when the starting 11 came out today, I was a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. Seeing Maguire starting, Van der Beek as 10 and Bruno out on the wing made me a little bit nervous, especially with Maguire being partnered up with Lindelof. I just thought there was a lack of pace in that defence, and I was a bit worried that was going to get capitalised on. As the game started, first 15 minutes wasn't great, I don't think, for United. When with Maguire playing, or as I've now started to call him, Meg Snail, I think we don't press as well, and we just don't attack as well with him in the team because of his complete lack of pace. I think that the fullbacks make up for it by sitting too deep, and it's been a problem since Maguire's been at the club. I think obviously under Solskjaer we played a different way where you could sit, back like that, and we could soak up the pressure and hit teams on the break. But obviously Ten Hag's not playing that way. So I think for the first 10-15 minutes we were just a little bit too slow, and we wasn't pressing well enough as a team because the fullbacks were sitting back. The front four were pressing well, but the fullbacks weren't joining in, and I think that made us suffer a little bit. Obviously, after that, I thought we started to come out of our shell and play well. 3 good goals, some really good team goals, some standout performances from the players. Thought they were absolutely superb. I think for me, the standout players were Casemiro, Shaw, De Gea, Rashford, Fernandes as well. I think Wan-Bissaka had a good game. Some of the goals were superb. Casemiro's goal, obviously, from the free kick. Great ball in by Eriksen, who also had a really good game. How we got that man for free, I'll never be able to understand, but he's been superb, and the delivery was great, and Casemiro a great finish. Thought Casemiro had a great game. His passing range is absolutely outrageous. I've said this a number of times now. It's just everything's on point. I didn't know he was this good with a ball at his feet at passing. I knew what he was like breaking up the play, and how he was a bit of a shithouser, and he was the one that made all the dirty fouls for Real Madrid, got into people's faces. But now you just see what a genius he is with a ball. Obviously, I've not seen him play loads before he came for United, and I've been really impressed. Again, Shaw, absolutely superb. For me, possible man of the match, the same as Casemiro. It's a toss-up between those two for me, and I just think he was great. The pass, he got his goal, and then the pass out to Fernandes, absolute worldy ball for him just to knock it over to Rashford, give Rashford a tap-in. Great goals, some beautiful team play. Obviously the Shaw goal with the assist from Garnacho as well, who came on and played really well. I'm loving Garnacho. I think he puts the fear into the fullbacks. As soon as he came on, their fullback on the right side got booked. Then he moves over. On the left side got booked, and then he moves over to the right, gets an assist, and then he's back over on the left, and gave Stacey a hard time when he came on. And I think he also got booked as well for a challenge on him. So I think he's the type of player that puts the fear into fullbacks, and I think he's going to be a special player. Who else do I want to talk about? De Gea. Obviously, Bournemouth didn't have loads of chances, but the chances that they did have, he made some superb saves. And I honestly think Bournemouth don't get that many chances if we had Varane and Martinez playing instead of Snail and Lindelof. I just think we started to, once we went 2-0 up, we started to sit too deep instead of, carrying on being positive and pushing forward. And I think it kind of affected us in a negative way at one point. But obviously we then went on and got the third goal, and it was a comfortable victory. Obviously on Twitter before the game out, I got a bit boisterous and said we was going to win 6-0. Before I seen the starting 11, if we'd have had Varane, Martinez and Anthony playing and Bruno at 10, I would have been really confident of getting a bigger result. Obviously 3-0 still a comfortable result, so I'm happy with that. But I was like, because I just don't think Bournemouth for all that. So yeah, I've like I say, we had a good game against a team that's more than likely going to get relegated, or they're going to definitely be in the fight to get relegated. So I think it was a comfortable performance. I'm obviously now looking forward to the next league game, which is against City. Obviously we've got 2 games in the Cups next, but obviously that game against City is going to be a big game. If we win that, it's going to help we go above them. And then also if we then win the next game against Arsenal, I think we could have an outside chance of being in the title race. I'm not saying we're going to be, but it's nice to be confident and feel confident about United again. The job that Ten Hag doing is just amazing, absolutely amazing. Like, he's the first manager that's given me real confidence since Fergie, and it's nice to feel that way about the club again. Obviously, all I've ever known is United winning, and this last 10 years has been awful. It's been difficult to be a United fan, but you've got to go through the good times and the bad times, and hopefully we're back on the up now with this manager that's obviously, he's a special manager and he's getting us playing the way that we should be playing. So now, guys, we're going to jump into the man of the match poll quickly. There was 82 votes on there. The 4 players that I put up for man of the match, just for my little thing, was Rashford, De Gea, Shaw and Casemiro. Now, obviously I put Rashford because of the goal, Shaw because of the goal, Casemiro because of the goal, and because the performances were overall very good. I think maybe Fernandes might have got in above Rashford if he didn't score the goal, because I thought, especially when he moved to 10, Fernandes was great. So yeah, and obviously De Gea's in there because of the saves he made. Obviously kept the game comfortable for us, and I thought he was superb. So in 4th place with 5% was, I kind of expected this, was Rashford. Obviously scored the goal and was okay. Didn't set the world on fire, but had a decent enough game. Can't argue with it. Then in 3rd place with 15% was David De Gea. For me, he was kind of an outside shout for man of the match. I think he kept us comfortable. He's playing unbelievably at the minute. Like, at the start of the season, a lot of fans would say, "Oh, we need a new keeper. We need to get him out of the team. He's not going to be able to play under Erik Ten Hag. He's not going to fit in the system. He's not going to, be able to play the way that Erik Ten Hag wants him to play." And I think he's proven everyone wrong. I think he's been superb. I think he should be our number 1 for the next 3 to 4 seasons. He's playing that well. And to be honest, he had a stellar season last season, not in terms of the way Ten Hag wanted to play, because obviously he wasn't the manager, but in the amount of saves that he made. If it weren't for De Gea last year, we could have been finished bottom half, because he made some superb saves. And for me, I thought he was great today. So he's in 3rd place. Then 2nd place, this is where it gets really tight with 39%, Luke Shaw. Like I said before, I thought he had a great game. Goal, not an assist, but the assist to the assist. Great ball out to Fernandes. Just think he's been superb, and I think Shawberto's definitely back. He's got that challenge from Malacia again, and it's just took him to that other level again, like the Tellers challenge did for a season. It's just took him back up to another level, and I think he's been superb, so consistent, and obviously very close to being your guys' man of the match. For me, I'd have actually give it to Luke Shaw. In my opinion, I'd have said Luke Shaw, but obviously I understand Casemiro was superb as well, and the voting was really close. So then in first place, Casemiro, 41%, obviously only 2% in it for the top two guys. And Casemiro, again, just proving he's world class. He's absolutely world class. All these people say 60 million is too much. He's 30, he's washed. He's not going to be able to do it in the Premier League. He's a steady Eddie. He was, you know, he was no good. He was just because he was rubbing shoulders with better midfielders, with Cruz and Modric. That's why, you know, he did so well for Madrid. And I think he's proving all the doubters wrong. I think he's showing his passing range, how capable he is on the ball. You know, he's great at winning the ball back, but he's actually been much more of a goal threat than I thought. He's great on set pieces. You know, he's got a screamer of a long shot. Passes through the lines, obviously. You know, he's doing great things, and I'm so glad that we got him. And 60 million starting to feel like a bargain. You know, if he can keep this up for 4 to 5 years, you know, he's going to push us on to that next level. And he's a player that I'm really enjoy watching. So now, guys, we're just going to jump into the player ratings. So obviously, first is De Gea. I'm going to give De Gea an 8. Obviously, didn't have loads to do, but when he was called into action, absolutely superb. There was a couple of really, like, you know, point blank saves that his reactions were just insane. He's, you know, he's giving me more. His distribution was great again today, and that was something a lot of people have jumped on him about. I think his distribution was great. You know, he's getting more confident, claiming ball from crosses. You know, I think he's really becoming the best goalkeeper in the world again. Obviously, he was for a while, and I think he's getting back there. You know, just superb. So now we move on to right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka a 7. Thought he was really steady again, good. You know, the improvement in him going forwards there to see. Obviously, played 70 minutes. Thought he had a really solid game, good performance. Yeah, there's not too much to write home about, but I think he helps in the build-up play. He's great at these last-ditch sliding tackles. You know, he's getting better as well with his heading on set pieces, where he always used to stand inside the far post and always get beat by his man to headers in the box. And I think he's getting a lot better at that. And he's not staying as close to Maguire, like when Maguire plays it. Well, he's not staying as close to the central defender, which I think is helping him. So yeah, gets a 7. Then we move on to Meg Snail. I'm going to give him a 6. I have an agenda, I'm not going to lie, and I don't want to let it rule like my rating system, so I'm going to say 6. For 5 or 6, I don't think he was superb. You know, did his job. Sometimes he's like, when he's got the ball, it's just always sideways, backwards, and I don't think he's as good as Martinez or Varane at moving the ball through the lines. But, you know, solid, did his job. Not much more to write home than that, other than I think he's too slow, and he makes us play a little bit deeper, and I don't enjoy seeing it, because obviously the way that Ten Hag wants to play is higher line. So, you know, they had a few chances, and I think it's down to the fact that we had to drop deeper because of Maguire and his lack of pace. Then Lindelof, I'm going to say 6.5, 6.5. Again, didn't do anything special, but he was solid, and obviously he's filled in well a few times when we've had injuries to, you know, Varane or to Martinez and whatnot. And I think, you know, he's a good backup to our two main centre backs. And I see him staying at the club. I see Maguire being the centre back that maybe moves on, unhappy with his playing time. And I think Lindelof, you know, steady, didn't do anything wrong. Obviously, I don't like seeing his partnership with Maguire back. Obviously, it makes me nervous as hell with all the games they got drubbed in last season. So, obviously, when I see him play together, it does make me nervous. But give him a 6.5, solid. Luke Shaw, for me, I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 9.5. For me, my man of the match. Obviously, not your guys' man of the match, but I think he was superb. You know, he's always up and down that line. He's making those overlapping runs. He's, you know, scored a goal. And he started that goal off with a great run as well. Obviously, bit of link-up play with Rashford, played the ball out to the other side, and then goes on to get the goal. So, superb goal. And then, so 9.5 for me, my man of the match. Then moving on into midfield, Casemiro first, 9. Again, real close contender for the man of the match, absolutely superb. Like I said before, his passing range is insane. He's scored a few goals for us. He's got some great long-range shots. He does all the nitty-gritty hard work. And I'm just loving watching him. It's a pleasure to watch him play. And very close runner-up to man of the match. Then Eriksen, 8, got an assist. Really solid. It really helps us in our build-up play. I like him in this deeper role. He's dropping in deep, getting the ball on, moving it on to Fernandes. Always linking up. He just gives me so much confidence in the midfield. Obviously, he got taken off, but I thought he had a good game. Then we move into the number 10, who obviously at first was Donny van der Beek. I'm going to give Donny a 6. I thought while he was on, he played okay. Was a little bit less, invisible than normal. I thought he had a decent game until he got injured, and it looked like a bad injury as well. He looked like he was in tears. And I think he's just the unluckiest guy ever to play in the United shirt. He's never got, the rub of the green. He's never got a run of games. He just seems really unlucky. And I think this injury will keep him out for 2-3 months by the looks of it. So I just feel sorry for the guy. And yeah, I'll just give him a 6. I don't think you can mark him down for his performance, but he went off after 30 minutes. So it is what it is. Then we move on to, obviously Bruno first started on the right. I'm going to give Bruno an 8. While he was on the right, not as effective, still played pretty well, steady, works really hard, tracks back, helps out, plays a little bit more narrow than a natural winger, but, he played well. And then when he moved into the 10, absolutely superb. Creates tons and tons of chances. I love him as a player. I love that he'll take the risk. And, 5 times out of 10 it won't work out, but then when you get, he's creating 4 or 5 chances a game, you can't argue with that. Got an assist as well. Just a great player. Love watching him. Sometimes does take a risk, plays a dodgy pass in midfield, puts us under pressure, but for what he gives us, I'll take those risks sometimes. Thought he was great. Then moving on to the left-hand side was Rashford, obviously, until the change, moved over to the right. Got a goal. I think it was a steady performance, 7. I'll give him because he got the goal. Don't think he set the world on fire, but was decent. So yeah, that's 7. Then we move on to Martial, who obviously started a striker. Poor game from Martial today. I don't think he was very effective. Obviously got took off after about 60-70 minutes. I'm going to give him a 5. I think playing as the forward for United, you do get starved for chances a little bit, because it's a lot more about the way Ten Hag wants to play. It's about him linking up and bringing other players into it, and I thought he did that well, but he missed, that header. That would have been, someone in my group chat put that would have been a perfect cross for Ronaldo, and I think it would have been. And he got up well, but didn't get it on target. So, he could have had a goal if his heading was a bit better. But for me, just looked a bit off it. But I'm hoping he's going to start banging the goals in, because he is a player that links up the play really well. Hopefully, we do get a striker that they can rotate with him back up a little bit, because he is a little bit injury prone. And when he came off, he did go straight down the tunnel. So it worries me that he's got injured again. So we'll see how that goes. And then on to the subs, obviously Garnacho came on. I'm going to give Garnacho a 7. Thought he was good when he came on. Scares the hell out of opposing fullbacks. Got 2 of them booked, got an assist, hit the post. He looks really confident at the moment, and I'm just enjoying the way he plays. So yeah, got to give him at least a 7. Thought it was good stuff when he came on. And then obviously near the end, we made a couple of subs. There was Fred, who came on, actually really impressed me. Thought he, at that time in the game, I'm liking Fred as like an impact sub, bringing the energy, and he looks a bit more confidence when he's in that role, and we're winning. He comes on and we're winning, and I think he's playing a little bit higher up the pitch because he came on for Eriksen, and few lovely little passes, great energy. I actually fancied him to get a goal against Bournemouth when he came on, because he just looked good. But obviously he didn't. But he played a few lovely balls, had loads of energy, and enjoyed his performance. I'm going to give him a 7 from off the bench. Then Ilanga came on, if I'm right, yeah. Obviously came on and played up front, replaced Martial, and I thought he was okay. I'll give him a 6. Don't remember him getting him on the ball too much, but he didn't do anything wrong. Can't be too harsh on him. I honestly think Ilanga should go on a loan to the Championship like Diallo's done. Have you seen with Amad Diallo? He's putting in some great performances for Sunderland. I think that's what Ilanga needs. He needs to play men football, but at a slightly lower level, just to get his confidence up. I think there's a player there. I do think there's a player that can be in and around the squad for the next couple of years, and I think that he needs to go on loan, if I'm honest. But I don't know whether we will, because obviously we are lacking in depth anyway. If we buy a striker, maybe, but we'll have to see. Obviously, when Sancho comes back, I think you have Sancho and Anthony as Anthony as the starter, Sancho as the cover, and then on the other side you have Rashford as the starter, Garnacho as the cover. Also, you've got Martial who can play there, and I think maybe Ilanga might be a little bit surplus, especially if we get Taramu, who we've been linked to, because he can play out wide as well, but plays as a 9. So it gives us those options. So we'll have to see how that goes. Obviously, I'd love for us to get a striker, but we know how the clubs run, so we'll have to see. And then Lisandro Martinez came on near the end. Obviously, I think just to give him that round of applause for winning the World Cup and that. Obviously, it was a nice touch before the game that he got to parade his medal. And I'm going to give him a 6. Don't remember really him touching the ball, but can't mark him down, can't mark him up, so I'll give him an average 6. I think overall, great game. Really enjoyed watching it, to be honest. After the first 10-15 minutes where it was a bit slow, I think we got into the groove. Was great. The last person I'm going to give a rating to, manager Erik ten Hag. 8. Didn't get anything wrong. Maybe those decisions to make those changes could have bit him, but obviously the team played well and we got the win. And I'm really enjoying watching the way he's got us playing some lovely stuff. And I can't wait to see how we play against City. Obviously, the last time we played City, we got absolutely drubbed, but I think we're a bit further on in the project now, and I'd like to see a competitive game. If we don't beat City, obviously you can just go, well, it's City, But I'm hoping, really, really hoping that we're at least competitive. If we lose 1-0, won't be the end of the world, but we could win by a couple of goals, so we'll have to see. Obviously, the next couple of games are cup games. We've got the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, so we'll have to see how those goes. I'll be doing a match preview to the next game, which is in a couple of days. I'll be starting to put out more videos now. Obviously, my kids are going back to school. I've been inactive over Christmas, not covered the first couple of games back, just because with one of my sons having autism, sometimes it's a bit difficult to kind of squeeze it in. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Obviously, thanks for understanding why I've not been putting out content, because it's been a bit difficult, but I'm hoping to, start building the channel more now and be putting out stuff consistently. I've been asked to maybe cover transfers, and I'm thinking about it, but I don't like doing transfers because it's a lot of guesswork. It's, sources I've never heard of. I'd rather just bring deals that I know we're doing. So if I'm going to do transfers, it will be when Romano, talks about it. Then I'll maybe do the odd little video here and there. But I'll think about it and work on that. But like I say, guys, thanks for tuning in. Really enjoyed doing the video. Glad to be back, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it too. Don't forget, before you go, to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my socials on Twitter. That's where I put a lot of my stuff out, my polls and things. So if you're new to the channel, my Twitter handle will be in the description. So head over there. Obviously, and I really enjoy interacting with people. So cheers for watching, guys. And catch me on the next one. Peace.